Hello, let's have some tea together, cozy up. We're going to talk about toddlers' meltdowns. Now, this isn't a manipulation that your toddler has, or they're not trying to overwhelm you. This is neurology. Their body isn't able to calm itself. So when a 3-year-old melts down for an hour because of the wrong color of cup, it's because they find that cup a threat. They find that it's not, their body is responding like they were going to be attacked by something. So let's break this down. We've had kids come into our office, young kids anywhere between 3 years old, 8 years old, who are having really big emotions. And as a mom of a 6-year-old who has had his fair share of his emotions and my fair share of my big emotions, what it comes down to is being able to calm the nervous system and respond in an appropriate way. Now, a lot of times in the midst of that moment, we're telling the child what to do. Unfortunately, they're not hearing us in that moment. And they're having a reaction where we call it the lizard brain is taking over. They are unable to reason appropriately. And that's completely neurologically, developmentally normal. And when the spine is not in the proper alignment and we have nervous system tension, that causes these issues to be even bigger. So unfortunately, we get things wrong about toddlers' behavior. Like society says that they're being bad, that they're being manipulative, that they need more discipline. When in reality, their nervous system is developing still. They're learning these skills, they're learning these tools. And it's easy to be overwhelmed when they don't know how to be able to calm their body. Behavior is communication. So they're trying to tell you something. They're trying to tell you they're having a hard time. It's not that they're giving you a hard time, but they're having a hard time. And your child's not broken. They're just building the skills to regulate. And we sometimes have to make sure that we circle back. When the body is calm and regulated, we can talk about, okay, how we reacted to this cup is not okay. What are some things that we can do in order to be able to handle that better when we're disappointed about what cup we get or what food we get, or the shoes that we're supposed to wear, or our most recent one was not having time to be able to do something that we wanted to do. So we have this little boy who is really frustrated, has meltdowns over and over again. They last forever. He's not able to regulate himself. And when the mom comes in, she was kicked out of multiple schools. And it's really not the child's fault. It's that the nervous system wasn't able to be able to handle those moments. And so there was an overreaction. And the brain, the prefrontal cortex brain, doesn't fully develop until we're 25. And for toddlers, that's like, they're barely really wired to be able to handle big emotions. And if they have lack of sleep, or maybe they have some extra sugar, or they've been up for a long time, they have a hyper stimulating experience, like a birthday the day before, or even that day, they're not going to be able to manage their emotions as well as we think they are. And a lot of times we put these expectations on kids when they're not adults, and we have to have the patience. We have to have the regulation to be able to manage their emotions so that we can show them how to manage their emotions. And when they're upset, they literally cannot reason. There's no logic. They're operating from the emotional brain, the limbic system, that lizard brain. And it's not a parenting failure. It's complete neuroscience. So your toddler is going through this stress response. They're seeing the wrong color cup. they're going into fight or flight. Either they're running away, hiding underneath the tables, or they're hitting, they're screaming, they're making funny noises. All of those things are their way of communicating. And it's automatic. It's not that they're choosing to do this. It's just automatic what they're doing, because their danger alarm is so hypersensitive, and it takes a very little trigger for things to get overwhelmed. And that's where our patience and our regulation becomes important, because nervous system regulation and having the capacity to handle that is, your toddler is building these skills that they don't have yet, and they rely on you to co-regulate. So with your nervous system being calm, it helps their nervous system be calm. But if their baseline is stressed, everything is harder. And when they've been sitting in school for long hours and they don't get a lot of time to run around, they're gonna be explosive after school. This isn't that something's wrong with your kid, it's that they have been holding it together for hours and hours. They've been holding it together, and then they finally get home, and in their safe space, they're able to overreact because it's their home, it's their safe space. And so really helping them be able to learn different things to manage those hard times is what is going to be important. And that is where chiropractic comes in, because we can help to take tension off of the nervous system so the body can regulate itself. It is just, when people are talking about boys being angsty or boys being aggressive, it's because they're not aggressive. That you have this sweet little boy who is just trying to express himself so that he can be able to calm himself down, and he doesn't have the tools yet. And so we have to teach the tools, and we have to also make sure his nervous system is regulating itself, and there's not tension in the spine that can cause these things to be even bigger than they already are. So birth trauma, falling during walk, illnesses, teething, that all creates stress on the nervous system. And maybe many behavioral kids have an underlying nervous system dysregulation. So when the spine is in the proper alignment, then the brain is able to communicate more effectively, and the nervous system is able to regulate better. The spine protects the nervous system, and misalignments cause this interference. It gets stuck in sympathetic mode. It's fight or flight, stressed. They're not able to take a deep breath and calm their bodies. And so when their nervous system can't calm, then the behavior reflects that. So it's not that there is a problem with how they're reacting. It's automatic. They're not doing it on purpose. They're not trying to be manipulative, or they're not trying to be aggressive. They just have no other way of communicating how they're feeling. So when we see kids with behavioral issues, they often have upper neck tension, and adjustments don't fix the behavior. These help to remove the nervous system interference so the nervous system can be relaxed. So then when the behavior occurs, it regulates faster. So it's not about the behavior never happens again, or there's never a trigger, or there's never a meltdown. It's about they're able to regulate more effectively. They're able to get to their tools, like taking deep breaths or taking some space, better and more effectively than they were before, because they don't have that tension in the neck. The child can actually access those regulation skills. And parents have told us that they have better sleep, they have fewer meltdowns, and they have longer attention spans. So this little boy that was getting aggressive and having to be leaving multiple schools, after 6 adjustments, the mom messaged us saying that she made it through the day and even made a friend at the new school. So we're looking at the whole picture. We're also looking at sleep, nutrition. Has there been any toxic exposure? Is there mold in the house, or was there anything chemical-wise that's come into their environment? Sensory environments matter. So Screen time matters. Screen time is causing hyperregulation, hyperstimulation. And so the nervous system has a hard time regulating. Sugar crashes. Holistic approaches get results when we can decrease sugar, we can decrease screen time, and we can get our spine in the proper alignment so that the child can help access those regulation skills better. So when we talk about gentle parenting, meeting the nervous system support, you can do both. You can set boundaries and you can support their nervous system. We want to have validation and consequences, empathy and structure, so that you're not permissive, but you're informed. So what that looks like is when the child has the meltdown, we're not automatically talking to them about what they can do differently because they're not hearing that. Now you can be telling them, you know, hitting is not okay. I'm going to remove you from this situation because it's not okay to hit. And even though they're fighting and screaming that, you remove them from that situation. When they're in a calm state, you circle back and you have those consequence conversations with them of why that's not okay and what we can do to be able to do something differently. So in our house, if we're feeling like we're needing to hit or kick, then we go get a pillow that we can take that energy out. The energy of hitting and kicking is the body needing to move. It's needing to move that energy and get out. So we talk a lot about going for a walk or running around or going outside. Now, in that moment, they're not going to want to do that. But when you can come back, when the child is in a calm state, and discuss these things with them, and say, when you're feeling this way, before you get to that point of not being able to calm down, you want to ask to go for a walk. You want to ask to take space or a drink of water because it helps to calm the brain. Now, in that moment, having the co-regulation tools for a parent of getting on their level, using a calm voice, even when you want to scream. I know it's really hard. We're learning to regulate our emotions the same time that they're learning and we're teaching them. And physical connection, if they'll accept that, asking them if they want a hug. Just the other day, we were talking and we were upset about something. And I asked, do you want to talk about this now? Or do you want to talk about this when I come downstairs, when we will have less time to do what we want to do? And at first, we were not wanting to talk about it. So I was about to go upstairs and then he came around and he said, actually, I want to talk about it now. And so we were able to have those conversations and using a calm voice, naming the emotion, talk about how frustrated they are. I get that you're angry, you're disappointed. You're allowed to be that way. You're not allowed to hit because we're disappointed. You're not allowed to kick. You're not allowed to throw things. So validating that things are really hard, offering a solution when they're calm and not mid-meltdown, that's really key here. So how to prevent some of these things? We want predictable routines. The nervous system loves predictability. You'll probably notice that meltdowns occur more often when we're out of routine. Warnings before transitions and choosing, within the boundaries. Do you want the red cup or the blue cup? Or, sorry, the blue cup is being washed today. We're going to need to use the red cup. Meeting basic needs, food, sleep, connection. They can be pretty overstimulated or they can have more triggers if they're not feeling that connection. And some outdoor time. So when do we want to seek help because of these meltdowns? They're lasting over an hour regularly. The physical aggression towards others, self-harm behaviors, sleep disruption affecting the whole family. Your intuition is telling you something's off. That all of those things tells you it's time to seek help. 3 things that you can try this week. Check on your own nervous system. Before reacting to the trauma, take some 5 deep breaths. Your regulation helps their regulation. You can't pour from an empty cup, so make sure that you are giving to yourself. as well. So we also want to create a calm corner, cozy space, soft items, not punishment, but a regulation station. Practice them when they're calm. This is your safe space. Books, stuffies, sensory toys, a weighted blanket, even sit with them there. Sometimes they want that presence of you there with them. And then track the patterns for 1 week. Notice the time of meltdowns. What triggers them? What helped calm the meltdowns? And then point that out to them later. Notice how when you took a drink of water, you were able to calm down faster. Did you feel that in your body? Talk about what they're feeling in their body later. Did you feel that in your stomach or in your chest? Look for patterns. Are they hungry? Are they tired? Are they overstimulated? This data helps you and your provider be able to see kind of like what the trends are. We see at this time of day, certain activities related to this food. But remember, consistency is better than perfection. You're gonna yell, you're gonna scream. It happens. We all lose our temper and then we repair afterwards. We talk to our kids and we say, we shouldn't have reacted that way. Mommy's learning, daddy's learning. And some days are gonna be harder than normal. And that's okay. You're teaching skills that they're going to use for their entire life. So, big emotions are developing nervous system. They're not bad behavior. Their brain isn't developed enough for self-regulation yet. And the nervous system stress makes everything harder. So when chiropractic helps to remove that stress, so regulation can be possible. And remember, you're not failing. You're parenting a tiny human with big feelings and a developing brain. And the fact that you're watching this means that you are on the right track. You're trying to find answers, and you were never meant to do this alone. The toddler years are really hard, and they'll pass in a blink of the eye. And the connection that you're going to build through these tools will be able to last forever. So if this spoke to you, please share it with a parent who might be going through the same stress that you are. And if you're ever feeling like, if you feel like you are just failing at these traumas, hit the like button so you know you're not alone. Drop a comment below and then subscribe for any other tips and tricks. If you're in the Hampton Roads area, we would love to help you and your family be able to regulate your emotions better through chiropractic care. Have a great day.